Good morning. Sovereign Jane Jenkins here, author of P Policy. Get your copy on Amazon and Kindle. Today I wanted to talk about limited emotional bandwidth. I had a conversation with one of my coworkers, and he was saying how women are too picky because you look at the surface and you look at the surface of a man and they automatically reject that man because they look average and they don't want to date that man. Mind you, this man makes six figures. He is a RN and has 2 degrees, very accomplished, very intelligent. But he's not getting the fact that a lot of women are okay with not dating, not because of the physical, because women think differently. We're looking at the emotional side. Do I have the emotional bandwidth to deal with you on a daily basis and have a successful relationship with you? And am I able to invest that time, because a relationship is a full-time job? And when you have childhood trauma or you've been traumatized in the past, your emotional bandwidth, it has a limit. Like, it's not unlimited. You are not going to let someone subject you to trauma time and time again, and you're not going to be in an unhealthy situation time and time again, especially when someone is playing manipulative games or tricks on you. And he didn't seem to get that part of the conversation because he's focused on the physical. But for a lot of women, we're looking at emotional. And of course, if you've been traumatized, you're looking at the 3 S's: safety, security, stability. Those are the bare minimums for people who have been traumatized, because they know one little thing could take them completely back and take them back to their unhealed traumas, and they might spiral out of control. So in order to prevent themselves from spiraling in the first place, they have to choose correctly, and they have to choose the right time and the first time. So people who've had trauma typically don't get in a lot of relationships if they have emotional intelligence, because that they know that their emotional intelligence has a limit as well. So on average, for me, when I see that somebody has the potential to max out my emotional bandwidth, I typically block, and I only give one chance, simply because I had to iron out a lot of my emotional issues as a teenager, all the way up to adolescence, all the way up to my 20s, like most of my 20s. So I don't have the capacity to go back and forth and have these conversations multiple times over and over again that are occurring in dating. So therefore, it makes me very picky, and it makes me very conscientious of who I'm dating. And I think that a lot of guys are looking at the physical sense. And it's for females, it's not about the physical, it's about the mental, it's the emotional, it's the mind. It's all about the mind. So you have to have good dating hygiene. Me personally, I don't have a lot of guys texting my phone, and I typically only give one chance per guy on average, because I know what my emotional bandwidth requires and I know what my max is. And one thing I decided when I started dating is that I'm not going to let somebody max out my capacities. And it's not about the physical, it's about the mental, it's about the emotional and the spiritual, if you think about it. But for all those who have traumas and you've done the work and you've worked on yourselves, make sure that you have good emotional hygiene no matter what's going on, no matter who's getting angry and who's upset, because at the end of the day, it is your choice to have high expectations and high standards, even though a lot of guys who are very accomplished are complaining about that. But it's not even just about the accomplishments, it's about what I'm willing to invest into something, and if I'm okay with the fact that it might fail. Am I comfortable with that? Because on average, most relationships nowadays fail because people want to go on to the next and go on to the next and keep dipping their toes in all these different ponds. But when you have emotional intelligence and you know your bandwidth has a max, you're not worried about that. You're focused on you, you're trying to heal, and you're covering yourself on a continuous basis, because you know that your emotional space remains top priority above everything else. check out the book. I will be tagging the website right here, boundariesandetachment.com. Check it out. Sovereign Jane Jenkins, P Policy.